Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Reynaldo Dave, and originally from Santa Cruz, Laguna, Philippines. And today, I live in Wipotoro. I want to share my story today, not because my life has been perfect, but because God has been faithful to me through both hard times and successful times. Growing up and facing hardship early. When I was young, I was raised by my adopted parents. Every Sunday, they took me to the Baptist church in our town. I loved listening to the stories about Jesus and learning about different people in the Bible during Sunday school. I grew up believing in God, and those early lessons stay in my heart. When I was a teenager, both my adopted parents passed away. Suddenly, I had to figure out how to survive on my own. I started working to meet my daily needs, and during that difficult season, I began to drift away from God. I visited different churches whenever people invited me, looking for a place where I could grow and understand Him better. I met my wife, Maricel, when I was 16. We moved together when I was 18. But her parents did not approve our relationship. When she was pregnant with our first child, life became extremely hard. We struggled with poverty and often lacked necessities. We couldn't afford maternity clothes, and sometimes we couldn't buy her pregnancy vitamins. Thankfully, the local health center gave them for us for free. We didn't have much money, but we had something important, faith that God will provide. And He did. In His time, God made a way for us to reunite with my wife's family, start our own lives independent, independently. Independently. And eventually run small businesses. Looking back, I can see God was guiding us even when we couldn't see it. Blessings, success, and misplaced priorities. God opened doors for me to work overseas. First in Australia, and then in New Zealand as a beekeeper. My wife joined me later, and after 2 years, our two children came to New Zealand as well. God kept blessing our family. He gave us the chance to start our own beekeeping business. We bought our first home, eventually a few rental properties. I also worked for a company where I was promoted to management, earned a good salary, and saw even more opportunities open up. From the outside, everything looked like a success story. Without realizing it, I started drowning in my own success. I became focused only on what I could achieve, what I could earn, or what I could build. My achievements became a priority instead of God and my family. I stopped trusting God and started relying completely on my own strength. I became proud and stubborn. I thought that if something went wrong, I could simply work harder and fix it myself. Because I put everything else before Him, I started facing the consequences. I lost my job, my position, my high income, and some of my investments. My health began to get worse. But even then, I didn't get the message. I just worked harder, applied for jobs, and landed another position with a good pay. I thought to myself, everything was going to be fine. The breaking point, but my health didn't improve, and I was hospitalized several times. Then came an experience I will never forget. One day, I was working in a remote area in the middle of nowhere. When I suddenly couldn't breathe properly, I was completely alone. Because of my location, it took more than an hour for the ambulance to reach me. Sitting on the side of the road, waiting and struggled to breathe, I realized how helpless I really was. All the money, success, job titles, properties, and things I had worked so hard or could not help me or save my life in that moment. There was only one person there to turn to, God. I started to pray. I asked Him to forgive me for my pride and for trying to live my life my own way. I prayed for Him to save me, give me another chance, and let me go home to my family. Right then, something changed inside me. I realized I had been chasing success without ever asking for God's direction. A second chance. God spared my life that day. Not long after, Cyclone Gabriel hit, which stopped me from traveling back to Gisborne. At the time, I didn't fully understand it, but looking back, I believe God was protecting me and reminding me that my life belongs to Him. The experience turned my life around. I learned that real peace and meaning don't come from money, status, or what we can accomplish on our own. They come from putting God first. And today, I can honestly say that I'm content, peaceful, and happy. Not because I had everything I once wanted, but because I had found something money cannot buy. Peace with God, contentment in my heart, and the joy of serving Him. Amen. I have learned that money can buy a house, but it cannot buy a home filled with peace. Money can buy a comfort, but it cannot buy contentment. Money can provide many things, but it cannot buy God's grace, His love, or the peace that comes from knowing that our life in His hand. I'm happier serving God than chasing the success I once thought would make me happy. Thank you, and all glory to God.
Amen.